The movie guys love movies. Any comments made about a certain film director who's once again under criticism for being a pedophile are purely for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, isn't that right, Frozen?
Frozen? What's the matter with Frozen?
Yeah, I heard it was one of those touching kids movies.
No, Paul, it's a touching kids movie.
Right, yeah, touching kids movie.
No, it's a touching kids movie.
Okay, in my mind, I'm hearing, it sounds like I'm saying exactly what you're saying.
No, Paul. Saying touching
No,
kids movie.
What I'm saying.
Saying the same word.
Yeah. WNBC.
No Woody Allen debate here.
No.
We'll leave that to talking heads in the news.
No, leave it to Facebook.
Leave
That's
that
where
to
it belongs.
Facebook. Facebook's
Yeah,
going
right.
to figure that out this week, aren't they?
God.
Isn't Facebook going to figure that out this week? It's going to get to the
They're
bottom.
batting,
whole
they're
thing
batting it
resolved.
around, that's for sure. Hey, welcome to the Movie Showcast, everybody, part of the vast and sprawling Movie Guys empire. Here to remind you that evil will always triumph over good, because good is dumb. You've reached ground zero for all things movies and comedy. We bring the two together right here on our show every week with rants, sketches, previews, characters, jokes, bits, special guests, and more. You can expect that in the next hour
All of
plus as we broadcast from the Admiral's Club, where weary travelers have complimentary access. If you're new to the power of the Movie Showcast, you can catch us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Search the Movie Showcast or the Movie Guys, any of those places, and we come right up. And don't forget, we are also available on WBAD Radio at WBAD.net. Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern, that's 1 here on the West Coast, WBAD.net. It's growing. It's huge. It comes out of Washington, D.C., spills out all over the country. They got a great roster of shows there.
I
And
think
we're
getting a lot of
in the
good-
mix.
We're getting a lot of new listeners and
They got a ton there.
Twitter followers.
They get the internet in Washington, D.C., do they?
They do. Yeah.
Nice.
And as always, please subscribe where possible. Tell your friends, share and like posts and videos and all that stuff at The Movie Guys on Twitter and on Facebook. Take a break from the Woody Allen shenanigans and check out our comedy jokes. We are The Movie Guys around the horn. That's me, Paul Preston, Adam Witt, and Lee Caius. Karen Volpe, regular movie guy, is out for 2 more weeks as she mounts a production of Me and My Girl in beautiful Glendale, California.
Mount it.
Sitting in her chair for the whole show is a comedian and writer who has worked behind the scenes on the likes of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Conan, and most recently as a writer and producer for Dion Cole's Black Box, Doug Karo.
Hey,
Thanks for having me, guys.
Doug. Welcome.
But we begin with our signature movie previews that let you know what's coming up in theaters for your viewing pleasure. After a couple of slight weeks, we now have a big 3-movie weekend as we leave Manuary behind. Manuary. And we begin February.
February.
Actually, February really kicks up next week with a trio of romantic comedies, but this week sees one female-centric film, Vampire Academy. You ever wonder how vampires learn to be vampires? Me neither, but this movie is convinced we do. Also this week is a Lego Movie, which makes just about as much sense as a fight to the death between Tinker Toys and Erector Sets. Patent pending. And later in the show, pitch meeting. Ocean's 11 goes to Nazi Germany. You've been greenlit! It's the Monuments Men.
I'm to put a team together and do our best to protect buildings, bridges, and art before the Nazis destroy everything.
Love that
How many
voice.
men? 6. Oh, Jesus.
Well, with you at 7.
That's much better.
6 guys versus the Nazis, saving art.
Yes,
Nice.
but 6 really charming, funny,
Oh, my God.
capable. I mean, 6 guys, most of them are George Clooney. Most of these 6 guys are George Clooney.
I'm joined by Bob Balaban. This thing has really got a lot.
Yeah. You don't see the Sandler gang saving art.
They're just discovering new water slides to go down.
Yeah.
And then Kevin James invariably gets stuck on one, and that's the big crisis.
We'll see this, though, won't we, the Monuments?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's got Matt
Yeah.
Damon, George Clooney, John Goodman, Bill Murray, and other people in it.
You had me at
And
all
Hugh
of-
Bonneville.
And Hugh Bonneville.
No, Hugh Bonneville.
It's a value.
It is. You're
it's a
getting
value.
You're getting Hugh Bonneville at a value.
I mean, how much? That's like that's a buck an actor, right? That's like $2 an actor right there, right?
We throw down at AMC theaters. Yeah, it's just about right.
It's $3 an Oscar.
Yeah,
There you go.
$4 at ArcLight.
But you get to bring in your drink, so.
Oh yeah, I've heard that about them. They're good about that.
So let's go to the first film. The Wait is Over, a movie about vampires hits the big screen.
Thank God.
But not just any vampires, teen vampires. Whoa, what is next? Frankensteins that are adults? Lee, let's talk about Vampire Academy. Here we go, everybody.
Sure, we've had teen vampires, hot vampires, George Hamilton vampires, but never once has cinema answered the question, where do vampires learn the basics of paper science, or how to start and own and operate their own business?
Vampire Academy is the Hogwarts of the immortal bloodthirsty undead. Up until now, I always thought that title was held by the Republican National Committee.
Now, Vampire Academy tries to wring some more mythology out of vampires by dividing them into 3 groups. So, on the Academy's periodic table of things that go bump in the night, we have the Mori, who are the mortal, peaceful vampires. The Dampier, they are half-human, half-vampire vampires, and they're locked into a mortal battle with the Strigoi. The Strigoi are evil vampires who make Bela Lugosi look like a penniless, drug-addled Hungarian stage actor.
Our story focuses on Rose Hathaway, played by Zoe Deutsch.
Paul, is there room in America's heart for 2 Zoes?
Doubtful. We only have one Keanu. Rose, like her 6'11" father, Eric, is a Dampier. And when you're half human, half vampire, you really bridge the gap between high school subcultures. I mean, you can be cool and arty. It's the equivalent of being the star quarterback who also sings in the choir.
The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads, they all adore him.
Mori, Dampiers, and Strigoi. Here are 3 words that were made up just for this movie, but that every goth teen will soon be using so casually as to make anyone over 30 think that they're real names for real things. You know, like twerk and internet.
Because it's a movie... Because it's a movie with any creature, with any mythology, a great millennial war is brewing.
Yes, right, except for here, the big Friday night game is replaced by an invasion of evil vampires, who always kick everyone's ass because they bust in that vampire from the inner city as their ringer. Bunch of cheats blindside my ass. I'm sorry, Paul, where was I?
You weren't. I was. Yes. The film also stars Lucy Fry as Lisa, Rose's friend. She is hailed as the one, just like in everything.
You were the chosen one!
For those of you in the betting pool, this is the first The One of the year. Ooh. Last year's winner was Adam, who correctly predicted 10 The Ones in movies in 2013.
Oh, I won? That's great. When does the Quidditch game begin at Vampire Academy anyway?
No, this isn't Hogwarts in fictional Scotland. In fact, you can expect a full-size Vampire Academy to open at Universal Studios Hollywood in 2019.
I see that the Vampire Academy is, in fact, in Montana, which explains why everyone in this movie is so beautiful.
Is it based on a book?
Yes, Paul. And so continues the trend of saving teens the trouble of having to read.
Vampire Academy. It's like Monsters University, except for the $743 million worldwide gross. There you go. That's Vampire Academy.
Vampire Academy. You know, it's funny. This is set in Montana. Because Twilight was all set in, like, Washington State, right?
Something going on.
Is this a government program? Like, to just areas where there's not anything cool happening? You know?
It's a relocation program. They're trying to entice people to buy homes in the unpopulated portions of America.
Yeah.
Up there near NORAD.
The North Dakota vampires. Isn't it spooky? Go visit, guys.
This is one of those weird, like, Juno goes to Hogwarts type movies.
Sassy, quirky girl, yes.
So sassy.
They're so disinterested in everything.
They clearly wanted Kat Dennings for the or I think it's Rose is the super smart ass in this one. Like, blah blah. I'm so over this movie that we're trying to tell you to come watch.
And Ellen Page before her, so I guess Zoe Deutsch is the new one of those.
Yeah.
Well, she looked like Ellen Page in a couple of those shots. I thought, this is Ellen Page, and it's just that attitude. The movie, I hate that kind of like snarky, snark.
Well, it's to me, it's the tone. Like, what is the tone? It's like every movie has to be 3 movies now.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you guys see that Beautiful Creatures movie?
No, but
we talked about it.
Seen parts of it. We saw the trailer several times.
That's the joy of our show. We talk about every movie. We only see the ones we want to.
We know exactly what you're talking about, and this is one of those things. It's 13 young adult novels, and I've never heard of it, and now it's a movie, and they're guaranteed 13 green lights on the.
It looks like it's a teen comedy, but it also looks like an action film. But it also looks like it just looks like a CW show.
It really does. Yeah.
Although I have to say. It's Daniel Waters, though, the writer of Heathers.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're going to have someone write the snarky, like, we're above being teen vampires, and I mean, of course, anybody can be above being a teen vampire now because we're all over it, right?
Yeah.
So
as much as we goof on Juno and all these other things, he did probably start all that.
Started it, right?
Heathers. Yeah.
Exactly.
So he's been writing teen snark for 30 years.
Yeah,
Teen snark.
taking a break to write a Batman movie full of teen snark. But yeah,
Which one was that?
Batman Returns. That's
He wrote that?
Waters.
Oh, good lord.
Oh,
watch it
man.
again and tell me if you could tell if the writer of Hudson Hawk wrote Batman Returns.
Oh man.
I think it's probably just the result that we're just over teen snark. So if you think like John Hughes,
Us or the country?
just everybody, yeah, everyone's over it. It's or at least us, because if you watch a John
Well,
Hughes
adults
movie,
are always over it. But go ahead.
but all John Hughes movies are John Hughesy.
Yeah.
But that never got old. That was just delightful and it worked and it rang true. And all this teen snark just seems like forced and deliberate and clever and for the sake of clever. And I don't know.
Hey, Karen has tweeted into the show. She said from rehearsal, she says, "This movie makes me like Harry Potter." Well, there you go. And she doesn't like Harry Potter. So.
Did you check your script for that tweet, Paul?
I did. Well, I tweeted and I wrote it down real quick
okay.
in type font, and then I read it to you guys.
By the way, if you want to watch us lie, go to our YouTube channel.
But this is weird. In the very first scene of the trailer, one girl opens up her neck to the other and lets her bite her because they're, again, revisionist vampires. They're just every time they do
Is
a
she
vampire
making
movie,
her friend immortal in that clip? I couldn't tell.
I think she's just giving her blood because she's half human and says, "You can probably drink my blood because you're not half."
Well, she's
you're
half
full
vampire, so she's not going to get turned into a vampire. So she
Exactly.
can
Well,
she can suffer the fangs
she
of
can
a friend.
feed her friend. But the weirdest
Yes.
part was, it's like she bit her on the shoulder. You ever notice in these vampire movies now
go
they're
for the
creeping
jugular,
down the
right?
neck, like they're biting them like way down here. Where,
I saw a movie where she bit her right between the legs.
That was a different movie.
Oh,
I
okay.
think.
a different movie. That was not revisionist
But
at
she
all.
was
They were
bleeding.
playing that one right by the
But
script.
this is the value of.
No, there's blood.
This is the value of
Doug's not having it.
creating a new mythology, if I may press on. This is the value of creating a new mythology because now you've got interactions that are completely different because these are different types of vampires. That's one thing I'll say in support of what this movie's trying to do.
But other than that, I mean, how far can you go? They walk in the daytime. They eat garlic. They get stakes in the heart, pull them out, and
work
keep
at the
going.
Gap.
They're drink blood. They're
Folding
My
sweaters.
favorite revisionist of the genre was there was back when it was, I believe, UPN. There was a Dracula show, and he used his vampire powers to affect the stock market.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It was amazing.
That's
How did he do that?
amazing.
He just like the wind blows this way and the crops will rise and I will
that's a-
sell it on the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. And
That's a sketch I want to do. Revisionist vampires out of control. Like just too much revisionism. They're now Superman. They're now from other planets. Just like, no, we revise till it's just completely
They're
different.
marrying gay people. They're all whatever.
the NBC one. His drive is like clean energy.
For real.
Yeah.
A vampire whose drive is clean
Yeah,
energy?
he's like I've invented. It's like a period piece, but he's like I've invented clean energy, and everyone's like, all the oil companies are like, stop Dracula, stop him.
Do they call him Dracula?
What's that?
They call him Dracula like he's Dracula.
He's
Or
Dracula.
is he
but
Vlad
I'm
Dracula
sure he's
or
like
whatever? A businessman?
something like
Dave
that. yeah.
Dave Dracula.
He is kind of a businessman, right? In the original Bram Stoker's thing, right? He's kind of doesn't he go for a land deal? The one guy that goes to visit him, what's his face? Boring guy, Keanu.
Carrie Ellis.
Carrie Elwes. Yeah,
Take
what
your
is it?
pick.
Keanu, Carrie Elwes. But I know
Wait,
she's...
we're not referring to the original Dracula as the Francis Ford Coppola.
No.
The original-
I was talking about Bram
we need
Stoker's
to stop
Dracula, not Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Correct. Copy that.
But I know what you're saying about the revisionism. I mean, what makes these vampires, they can do all that sort of stuff, walk out in the sun and don't need blood or whatever. What's the difference between them and a dull couple from Palmdale?
I know the difference, Adam.
Yes, Lee,
What is
tell
it?
us.
If you drive a stake through the heart of a vampire, they die.
Oh,
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Listen, now I'm not going to
Was that
argue. I'm not going to argue against higher education, but I got to believe most vampires learn the basics at home or by instinct, right? I mean, once your baby fangs fall out, you learn to fly. You're just waiting until your libido kicks in, and that's pretty much it, right? Not so, turns out. We're finding out now with the show here. As Vampire Academy purports, there is a lot to learn. So we here at the Movie Guys want to take part and get into some of these classes.
Oh.
Well, it turns out the classes at Vampire Academy are full.
Oh, come on.
And there is
Stupid
no more
phone tree.
enrollment at this time. This is what I found out this morning. However, I did a little research on the old computer and found VTI, Vampire Technical Institute.
Oh, well, it's my backup.
Yes, it turns out they offer a wide variety. They offer a wide variety of degrees and lots of availability to enroll. So I want to call them right now and see what we could
Let's
possibly
find out what
study.
classes we can take at Vampire Technical
Yeah,
Institute.
I'm going to call them up here in the old computer and see what happens.
Use your phone for that, Paul.
Sure.
Oh, we can. We have the power. Appropriate.
Of course.
Hello, and welcome to Vampire Technical Institute, your road to becoming a better vampire. At VTI, we focus on providing a very refanged education for the red-collar bloodsucker. A quick note to new students. Please attend our welcome weekend in celebration of Black Vampire History Month with a double feature of Blackula and a Vampire in Brooklyn at the Vlad the Impaler Memorial Auditorium, February 10th at 10 p.m. Want to be a new student? Enroll now and you can take part in the following courses: coffin technician, crucifix repair, HVAC repair, mirror polisher, cooking without garlic, unorthodontics, stake avoidance, holy water, holy VCR repair, hotel and castle management, Romanian tourism and hospitality, blood banking and financial planning, personal hygiene, Transylvanian history, Transylvanian air conditioner repair, accounting, haberdashery and cloak design, and night spa manager. All students get to attend one class taught by our current doctorate holder, Dr. Acula. Press 1 to be put through to our customer service representative, Renfield.
Okay, I'm actually going to hang up there.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, some of those sound interesting. I'd have to think.
You write down your
Especially-
favorites?
The HVAC repair. I think there's a future in that.
Night spa manager. So it's appealing
Holy
to me.
VCR repair. I was thinking that. That sounds a little tough though. That sounds like a hard one.
Well, I don't think any of us are going to that. I don't think any of us are going to Vampire Academy either. So there you go. We've
I
got
don't
the
think
board.
so.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about a movie we might go and see.
I'll let it be
No, wait.
described to me.
Instead of that, let's talk about our next film.
Oh, okay.
Our next film is for a whole nother demographics. It's another Toy Story.
Oh.
No, not another sequel to the movie Toy Story.
Oh.
But suffice it to say that if you went bonkers over Battleship, then you'll most likely react somehow to the Lego Movie. Adam? Finally, Hollywood reaches the last thing to be adapted and animated, as plastic building bricks finally start talking, singing, and exploding in the Lego Movie, from the producers of Puzzle Piece, the musical, and Lincoln Log Cabin in the Woods.
Here's one movie that you wouldn't want to step on in the middle of the night, as it tells the story of Emmett, your typical worker Lego minifigure who's mistaken for the fabled master builder because of how much time he spends alone master building with Lego magazines.
We watched the trailer 7 or 8 times, and we're just starting to piece together the plot. Emmett meets with essentially Lego God, voiced by Morgan Freeman, who's going to keep voicing God until we all die and find God's actual voice to be a bit of a letdown.
Lego God tells Emmett that he is the one and is destined to lead a rebellion against gathering dark forces.
Oh, the one. Well, as we've established, that makes him special and unique, just like Harry Potter.
And Neo.
And Ender Wiggin.
And Frodo Baggins.
And John Connor.
And Anakin Skywalker.
And that chick from Vampire Academy.
So those of you in the 2014 The One pool, if you had 2 The Ones, you're in the lead.
Your number the one.
But the month is just getting started. Go to rotoflix.com to continue playing.
Now, the Lego Movie, adapted from the choking hazard for children 3 and under of the same name, boasts a gigantic voice cast aimed at the accompanying adults who are going to suffer through everything this movie has in its toolbox to grab every child's attention. Will Arnett, Will Forte, and Will Ferrell are just some of the Wills adding their voice to the movie. Joining them are Elizabeth Banks, Alison Brie, Jonah Hill, Charlie Day, Dave Franco, Nick Offerman, Chris Pratt, Liam Neeson, and Keegan-Michael Key.
Played by the incomparable Liam Neeson.
The movie also features a number of DC superheroes and Star Wars characters, with Channing Tatum playing Superman, Will Arnett as Batman, and Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian.
Yo, you straight up running Cloud City right now, dog.
What was that?
Key and Peele.
Big fans. Don't blink or constantly blink. We're not sure which would be a better way to watch this movie because, based on what we've seen in the trailer, it would seem as though you've got about 2 seconds with any one scene.
Kids and epileptics will love this movie.
And don't forget the moral of the story: buy Legos. There you go. That's that movie.
Yay! We won! We won, Paul. We won.
We won.
I don't know.
We the one.
I'm just attributing winning at some points in our show. we talked about it. We won.
Yeah, what we talked about before when we were talking about this movie was: is there really this much love for Legos?
Huge.
There's a whole theme park that still exists, and when it came out, I gave it the over/under on that for me was like 3 years.
Yeah, I gotta say, it is weird that park is a strange thing because I think this Lego thing is a confidence game. I think they've said you love Legos a whole lot more than we love Legos, but they've folded in Star Wars and they've got video games and superheroes and video games. So they've folded in almost everything you can like. Pirates of the Caribbean, everything into the Lego universe. Like they've licensed everything, which is super smart. If you want to appeal to everybody, Indiana Jones, of course, yeah, and that's got the video game. And they have movies for all these things. And I found out in the last year, I have 2 friends with 5 or 6 year olds, and that is all they want to watch is Lego superheroes and Lego Star Wars and play Lego Star Wars and stuff. It's huge.
Do you think big weekend?
I think so. Yeah. I think so. And also I think it's a big weekend for this one because all the voice talent. I'd actually go watch all those people say funny things.
I'd watch Will Arnett be Batman.
Right?
Yeah. When are you going to get
Channing
to say
Tatum is Superman.
That's right?
I'm
Will
in.
Arnett stars as Batman. When are you going to be able to say that and actually mean it?
Yeah, I'm kind of in for that. And C-3PO.
He'll do his thing down here.
Yeah.
The whole time. It'll be hilarious.
Michael. It's going to be one big Michael.
Oh, Emmett. You're trying to save the world, I see.
I think if I were a 12-year-old boy, I would probably, or even 8 or whatever the choking hazard age for this is, I would absolutely want to see this film. I kind of would like to see it now.
I do. I'm
kind of interested.
They had a good panel at Comic-Con last summer.
Yeah.
Getting people hyped up for it. It's from the guys who made Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. I haven't seen any of those. Have you seen that?
No.
Yeah, we're all adults.
I niece and nephew love it. It's about as much as I got for you.
Yeah.
Neeson? Oh, your niece and nephew.
Niece and nephew.
Liam Neeson, my nephew.
Who are Neeson fans. Liam Neeson fans, my niece and nephew.
My Nissan loves it.
My Nissan loves it. It runs on.
I don't. I mean, it's one of those things. The question is I don't think a lot of people are going to go see it that aren't bringing kids, and are parents just waiting for stuff to come to like home video? Are they going to see movies in theaters anymore?
I don't know. I think there's a whole
because
industry like
this
that.
is the one that as I used to say, an animated movie used to come out once a year when I was a kid. It's every month. I guarantee there's 12 animated movies at the very least every year because just that once a month, you got to have that thing you can take the whole family to. And I think this one appeals to such a broad range, and I think the humor will appeal to parents. It's like one of those movies that's like, look, parents are going to have to take their kids to something animated this month. We might as well fill it with like adult jokes too.
Right.
So this one looks like it succeeds more than.
But I'm with you, Doug. I think there's
Day.
I think there's a whole strategy behind just waiting for it to be released. I don't know if they release them on DVD anymore. Or is it all just the interwebs and Hulu? But what were those 2 broads? The Mary Kate girls. They made like a bazillion movies that no one ever saw.
It's all straight to video.
But they've got this huge pile of money because they went straight to video.
Digital babysitter.
I just think they might be competing with themselves. I mean, it's almost like the Avengers movie because all of their characters there is a Star Wars Lego movie, there is a Star Wars Batman movie, and so like if your kids are dumb enough, you could just say that's it. That's the Lego movie.
That's all. That's all you get. Yeah.
Stay home.
No, that's the one you saw on TV. That's the one. That's it.
But it's I think Frozen is approaching $350 million domestically. So who knows worldwide. So I think parents might be still going out taking the kids.
No, I think the lesson here is stop having kids. Please, everyone.
We don't have enough animated movies to sustain. But you know what you did get right, I think, is that like last month, what's the Turkeys movie what came out last month?
Nutshot.
Free Birds?
The squirrels.
The nut job.
Chicken balls.
Squirrels and chicken balls and nut job and all that stuff. Those, I don't think they get a huge thing. But they're big on video. Because you have to have something to babysit your kids in between ones you'll legitimately go see, I think.
Right.
So like those are the ones that they make an appearance in theaters. Nobody really cares, but they're going to be big on video. I bet they're huge on video rental.
You think those like hatchet jobs do good? Like Frozen just came out, and then like Doink Video will put out the Snow Queen.
Oh,
and
I'm obsessed with those. Those are amazing.
Terminators. Can you just call it Terminators? Okay,
Yeah,
I guess you
same
can.
thing.
Yeah, the Transmorphers.
But the animated ones look especially hacked because the animation is not going to be these world-class Disney and Pixar guys or the DreamWorks folks who now are matching them. But pretty much
they're
on
much
visual
more
quality. It's going to be like some overseas, nudniks.
And yeah, go ahead.
It's evolving to the point where they're just going to be adding silent E's to the actual title.
That's a good strategy. Start a company with that.
Frozone? No.
There's an umlaut.
Frowson.
Frozen.
All right. Well, listen. Once again, Karen is listening to the show. She's tweeted here again.
Hi, Karen.
From
You're
rehearsal.
listening right now?
That movie trailer is on crack. Well, there you go. If you've seen it, you probably would agree that Lego Movie's trailer is insane. It's moves amazingly fast. It has visuals and colors that are bright, quick, and jumpy, and it requires sort of an ADD-addled attention span to take it all in. So you're probably wondering what drug or drugs you should take when seeing this film.
The eternal question.
That leads us to another edition of our ongoing segment, Adam Witt's Film Fix. Let's bring it over to Adam.
So you've been roped into going to Lego the Movie. The question before every trip to the movies is the same. What drugs would make this movie better? Now, the first thing you'll think about this movie is, hey, objects flying out of the screen and breaking apart in 3D. This is a perfect movie for acid. Do not do acid for the Lego Movie. For God's sakes, it's a movie about toys coming to life and having lives in your face. This movie will break your brain. And before you think, oh, mushrooms it is, think again. On mushrooms, you'll be too desperate to connect with the movie, only to realize that it only exists as a product to be sold. It's a lie, and if you're on mushrooms, what else is a lie? You could lose it all in 90 minutes.
Panic.
So what does go with this movie? Of course, weed. Weed goes with every movie. It's always a matter of what kind. For this one, I'm prescribing an indica, like a bubblegum kush, you know? It's going to negate the movie's spastic gyrations and put you in a place where you can take it seriously, but not too seriously. It is weed, after all. Now, before that, you're going to need some ADD control, so Ritalin. Now, the Ritalin is not for you, it's for the kids. This movie is going to try and destroy them and rebuild them as consumers. Keep them on track and taking it all in as if it makes complete sense. But don't you take Ritalin, because this movie makes no sense. Here's what you do. When you leave the house, half a Vicodin. That's going to hit you right when you get to the theater. Put you in a nice fluffy clouds to deal with a lobby of screaming kids, okay? So you're starting to work up a good buzz, and you have to head off anything that might kill it at the pass. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Once you hit
Except
the lobby...
I've never taken a drug before in my life, but I'm writing it down.
Just continue to nod along, Paul,
Okay.
to my segment here. Once you hit the lobby, it's time to pop I'm going to go indica lozenge for the weed, right? Because that's going to take a little time to get into. You take the other half of the Vicodin, and you are slowly sliding your way into the whole feature there, okay? Working up a good buzz. Now, you're halfway through this movie or something like that. Might be a good time for pure ecstasy. Snort it. Now, I'm not brave enough for this combo myself. The weed's enough for me. But I'd be remiss in my duties here if I didn't say this whole movie looks like a rave, like it's just a giant big strobe light in your eyes. So I don't know. Somebody else try that. The only other thing I will say is one more important thing. About an hour into the movie, you're going to want to take an 800 milligram Motrin, because as soon as the movie's over, every boy in it will flow into the lobby of the theater and try and kick everything that exists in the balls. So that's my cocktail for the Lego Movie. Of course, don't forget the traditional venue modifiers for upper and lower class theaters. For the Valley Plaza 6, where it's $1.50 on Sunday, you're going to want to pair that experience with an electronic cigarette. For an upper tier theater like ArcLight, you're going to need to sneak in a flask of old Granddad whiskey to bring that hoity-toity place down a peg. All right, I'm Adam Witt, and remember, when you get high for a movie, the Oscar goes to you.
All right.
Yay.
What the hell is a bubblegum kush?
Bubblegum Kush. That's a kind of a little more sleepy weed. Kush is like Easy-E weed.
It tastes
I
like
think.
bubblegum now. Doesn't taste like
Yeah,
bubblegum.
yeah,
It does?
well, it has a sweet taste like that. Yeah, exactly.
See what you're missing out, Paul?
I know, you got me excited.
Oh
now.
no, they've got it's like wine connoisseurs now.
You've got Paul excited for drugs.
Hey, hey.
Now, didn't that sound like a good
Kids,
way to-
join me on a fantastic adventure.
I've never tried them before. Perhaps I should. They sound delightful.
Perhaps the movie guys are experts on drugs. Oh, well.
If you see me at a movie, I'm probably high, because that's just the best way to see a movie. What can I
Indica,
say?
and what is indica?
Indica is a little
It's like a blue,
sleeper,
like a turquoise.
It's
a
indigo.
body
Oh, sorry.
weed, body high, and the sativa is more of the head high. I was going to forget a line I forgot to put in there. Don't do a sativa at a movie like this. You'll just end up organizing your purse.
All right, well, listen, drugs
It's
are
a
optional.
satchel, Adam.
A satchel.
Yeah, man purse.
Merce.
Drugs are optional for our next film, which features Bill Murray. Bad week for Karen to miss the show. But if she were here, she'd probably say...
New Bill Murray movie, new Bill Murray movie, new Bill Murray movie.
She says that a lot.
Pretty sure she would.
Coming this Christmas... Oh, wait. It's The Monuments Men.
It's saving Ryan's private collection of art as World War II becomes the latest thing to make Bob Balaban flinch and grab his hat.
The Monuments Men is the never-before-told story of a group of over-the-hill art scholars, each with a particular skill. They're put together, man-on-a-mission style, to go behind enemy lines and save the art from buildings and museums before the Nazis can destroy them.
I hate Illinois Nazis.
Nazis are once again cast as the enemies. Really, Hollywood? Never gets old, does it? Could have gone with pirates or aliens, but no, you go for the obvious.
It's a World War II movie.
Says you.
Just when you thought there were no more new reasons to hate Hitler, turns out he hates art. Good art. Like Van Gogh and Rodin, not the bullshit kind of art we all hate.
Now, this is based on true events.
And
a book.
Thank you.
But the real draw here is its amazing cast. Matt Damon. George Clooney. John Goodman. Jean Dujardin. And Kate Blanchett. Now tell me, what is wrong with that picture? Nothing. There's nothing wrong with that picture. No.
Then on top of that, throw in the most welcome screen face in filmed entertainment, Bill Murray.
God damn it, Bill fucking Murray!
So whatever you do, try not to think about Ocean's 11.
Especially during the scene where the two of them are sitting at the bar doing a head count on the crack team of specialists they just assembled to pull off this heist. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it. No. Every single member of the cast belongs to a special category of actors whose movies are enjoyable for at least the amount of time they're on screen. This is known in the Movie Guysopedia as the J.T. Walsh constant.
In one of the more charming war scenes you'll ever see, we have Private Ryan from Saving Private Ryan and Aldo Rain from Inglourious Bastards.
Actually, I think you're thinking of Brad Pitt. This is George Clooney.
Doesn't matter.
No, not to me.
The fun of Ocean's World War II will be watching the cast of pencil pushers dodge Nazi lead and face peril they've never seen before for the love of art. I think that's a story I can get behind, especially if they're saving portraits of boobs.
And this is for real. His name is spelled T-I-T-I-A-N. Titian. Honest to God.
There you go.
Yay!
So, as we all know, if you've listened to the show regularly, Karen saw an advanced screening of this movie some time ago. Well before its previously scheduled December release. Thought it was meh. And now...
How was Bill Murray in it, did she say?
Well, of course, I'm sure she loved him.
But not even that the FDR movie, like even Karen's great Bill Murray
No,
thing,
I
like,
would
she's
go...
like,
I
that's
would
kind
agree
of
with
shit.
it. That's not a great movie. Not Bill's fault, just a cheese movie.
Yeah. It's not a really Bill Murray movie.
But much like Oprah and hamburgers, I would hate for the movie guys to impact box office on this film. But there's something...
It's a valid concern.
Right? But there's something about this trailer that doesn't make me believe they're going to be able to pull it off. And I don't know if it's because we've heard what Karen had to say about the advanced screening, but in watching it, because it feels like it's in between trying to be serious and goofy.
Yeah, she said there was tonal issues with the film.
But
hopefully that's what they worked on between December and February when they pushed it ahead.
Yeah, they had some
because there really is a scene at the bar where they're doing, you would swear it was the Ocean's 11. We got 11 and we got 10. Is that enough? We need one more? We should get one more. They're doing that whole thing, which was very charming and goofy in Ocean's 11, but in this movie I can't tell if they're trying for that or...
Do you think it doesn't know what it is?
Yeah,
right?
it really
Because it's a
doesn't-
man on a mission movie, and these men are not the men you want on a mission because they're kind of dopes. And there's a training sequence where they have to go through.
Yeah.
But of course, that is no indicator that a war movie is going to be good because that is the standard. Bunch of guys can't get through basic training. Oh, we're falling. Like
that could be Sergeant Bilko. It could be Stripes.
Could be Sergeant Bilko. Absolutely.
Bill Murray breaks out the ice cream scoop and...
I got a tool for it.
Oh, yes. I got a tool for that.
But I can't help but think that, you go with George Clooney. If he's giving you something, you err on the side of positive, and you say, this is going to be good. Because
like that Batman?
That's not him. That's the one. And I think we all know that's the movie that made George Clooney said, fuck this, I'm making my own movies. And he
Brought
teamed
him
up
new
with
respectability.
Soderbergh. And then everything went crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
But no, you could take that. You could take One Fine Day and The Peacemaker. Stick them all in a... and send them to
Post out of
Bill.
sight, George Clooney is the real shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no.
Yeah.
Did you like
I do
Batman
like
and
that
Robin?
Batman movie.
Which one?
Did you like Batman and Robin?
Oh, no.
No, okay, good.
No.
I wondered where I'm worried for a second.
I'm going to hold a screening of it because I've found a love for that movie that I can now watch.
I got it
all
on
the
VHS
time.
over there.
Yeah, that's a
Man,
good.
that's
That's a
where
good
it is.
format, actually. The more you can make it look like it was like a straight to TV
Like a
Spider-Man
like a
movie from
Corman film?
'79. Yeah, exactly. The more you can do that to it. In fact, tape that tape on another tape. like get a generation lost, like 2 VCRs. That's going to get better.
Don't
and better.
buy a new tape.
Yeah.
Tape it onto an old tape over something from
BASF
1987.
VHS videotape from 1985, and do like several, and that's going to get better.
No, that's a great format for that movie. One that's unplayable.
One that will disintegrate as you're watching.
Yeah, exactly.
But yes, but the thing is the JT Walsh constant, the idea that any George Clooney movie is watchable for the amount of time he's on screen, right? So other elements may go wrong in that movie, but and this is kind of broad. This is us having fun, of course. I mean, it's not literal,
right?
Because Matt Damon makes plenty of movies where I don't really care about him on screen. He's
really?
made a couple shit ones
That's
lately,
true.
right? We Bought a Zoo. I don't know. Am I going to enjoy that? I don't know. I'm not going to watch that.
It wasn't bad.
It's not bad. Now, was it enjoyable for the amount of time he was on screen?
You know what? It was Cameron Crowe. I like him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love Cameron Crowe.
And it had that little girl. She's just like, we bought a zoo. She was very enthusiastic.
She was very catchphrasy about
so
the movie.
because they were psyched about their movie, it's a good movie.
Not since Super Cop. Yes, we bought a zoo.
His movies always have that little kid that says something and shouts it.
Super wise.
Like Jerry Maguire.
My head is so big and
Jonathan Lipnicki. What happened to Jonathan Lipnicki?
Now he's
ripped.
He's like 30 or whatever, right?
He's all roided out, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's all roided out.
Is that right?
Yes.
But
I-
his head, his head kind of looks the same.
Oh,
but he has like the crazy weird washboard thing.
Still looks like a 7-year-old.
Yeah, he works out with Carrot Top.
I got to see Macaulay Culkin recently. I saw him out in public. You ever seen him?
You're like cringing as you say that.
You know what? If he's going for that look, I guess he's nailing it. But I'm not sure if he's kind of cracked out.
Like he's ditching the old. Like he wants to go Eddie Furlong now.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's more like that Party Monster movie he was in. I think he'd like that. I don't know if they made him up that much for it. He really kind of looks like partied out. Like he really was like at the club late last night. But
Well, listen, I'm inspired
he's
by
okay.
this movie because art is under a new threat. This time from underfunding.
Uh-oh.
Oh my.
Or you never know, Al Qaeda might just come along for our precious art, and we have to defend ourselves.
Yeah.
I, for one, am not going to sit around and watch as our art is bamboozled by foreigners.
No bamboozling.
We, the movie guys, have made a promise to the United States of America that our art will not fall victim to radicals who want to destroy it, and we will defend our artwork.
Yes. Let's defend the art of 2014.
So we're going to take this precious art and seal it in our escape hatch, which is here in the Admiral's Club.
Thing,
Oh, okay.
yes. There's a hatch that goes down, and we'll dump it in full of cement. And
Life-size time capsule.
Future society
Exactly.
can find it, right?
Alrighty.
Exactly.
Great.
So we have each taken upon ourselves different positions in case of a worst possible scenario where Red Dawn comes true. No, the other Red Dawn.
Oh, okay.
Now, Lee, for example, will be guardian of YouTube. Is this correct?
Yes, Paul. Actually,
nice.
I've given this a lot of thought, and as you know, we can't save everything, just the things that will serve as a seed for a new civilization. And I think modern visual media should be at the forefront of that list. So, starting with YouTube, I think we all can agree that Chocolate Rain should be kept.
Gotta save Chocolate Rain.
I honestly could listen to this constantly.
For real?
This is not even a joke.
Bit aside?
Bit aside.
God bless you.
I've listened to this by myself at my home.
You can pick up my
That's some
slack.
voice.
and because she is such an icon of our times, I think we absolutely need to preserve Leave Britney Alone, of course.
Leave Britney Spears alone right now.
Give that guy a TV show.
Absolutely. He doesn't have 3 already? And then, of course, I
Got a
think
development deal, but what does that guy come up? What ideas does that guy have?
I think entertainment's going to be crucial in the new civilization. So, of course, plenty of cats playing piano.
Keyboard cat, right?
Keyboard cat, yep.
Yeah.
Keyboard Cat, play off the United States of America.
Stick it in the vault. Vault it.
And because children really are our future, Paul, I think David After Dentist is something we would want to keep.
I didn't feel anything.
How will future societies know?
Exactly. So we have to look in the mirror on that one. So.
Right, enough of him.
Yeah.
All right, so well, that's exciting.
That's all YouTube, though. Yeah,
That's a lot.
But that's just
it's
YouTube.
worth saving. We don't want Hitler to get his hands on it,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
future Hitler, or whoever modern
Yeah,
Hitler
There's a lot
is.
of formats now,
Absolutely.
right?
Dave Hitler.
Yeah.
Listen, so but we be saving any vines?
Yes, but only Nicholas Megalus.
Oh.
Yo, my name is Nicholas, and this is ridiculous. Got mad gummy money, and it is delicious. Yo, my name is Nicholas, and this is ridiculous.
My God, that shit just goes on over
You
and
gotta
over
save
again.
one.
Again, I will listen to that at home
My God.
of my free will.
God
Yes.
bless you.
So,
Well, listen, there are a lot of visual mediums out there. How about
Sure.
Tinder?
Tinder, I'm working on it. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, and
Quick,
yes.
save Snapchat. Too late.
Oh, crap.
Now, what about Pinterest?
Pinterest. Oh, you mean that wall where it's like, and then you and then you put a picture, or no, wait, you have like a recipe, and then you post it, and other people can. Fuck it, no.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I declare that I'm going to save today's modern art. Ooh. So I don't mean Monet and Picasso and Rembrandt, the art of old. I mean that black guy in Venice Beach who paints himself gold.
Absolutely. Frame that guy.
That jar of deer piss with a fetus in it. Someone is saying something with that, and by gum, I'm going to save it. The installation down in Greenwich Village of that looping video of a woman having an abortion. That deserves saving.
What? It means something.
If nothing...
It's modern art. It has
it's a lesson.
Statement. It's a
nothing
statement.
more
What is
than
that? Hands off, dictators.
Yeah, not today, Kim Jong-un. We're keeping that. That painting of a giant spork, saved.
Nailed it.
That guy who stands in the middle of a room full of bloody mannequins and pisses himself while Obama's inauguration speech is played over and over again. I'm protecting that. I don't know why, but I am.
Well, that's good for you, Paul. I think we're already on to a good start here in preserving civilization.
I'll tell you what I'm going to take.
Yes.
I'm going to take memes.
Oh.
Save these
Smart.
memes,
Smart.
right? Willy Wonka saying something snarky.
Yeah.
I'm just do one of each. Shatner screaming something from 2.
And then you say you have your own snarky thing you put that he says.
Exactly.
Screaming.
Yeah,
Because that's how
the best one. I don't know what Picard, I can't has cheeseburger. Cats that look like Hitler. I get one of each. The representative example. Ryan Gosling, the Hey Girl thing. We get one of those. You got Hillary Clinton, texting wise-ass comments. You got that. You get one of those.
Imagine society without those.
How would we communicate?
How would we tell someone how hard something is to get into if we don't post, one does not just walk into Mordor, right? You get that whole thing, you take that. You know what? There just may be too many of these, really.
No, I think
too many memes.
You did well. You did well. That's a great.
Well, listen, maybe you should just keep one, like Noah's Ark.
Oh,
something to breed
not one of
generations
each,
to come.
just-
Right. What was the first meme? The one that launched 1,000 memes.
I got it. It's the original cat poster. Hang in there. I'll just get that one. That's the first meme. That should do it, right?
That should be enough.
Done. Yeah.
Doug?
All right, you know what? I'll handle music. I'll save Lady Gaga.
Actually, you don't need to do that. We already have Madonna saved and
That's true.
stored away,
Oh,
so
good.
that covers
All
that.
right, fair enough. How about Bruno Mars?
Nope. Got Prince.
That's enough.
Michael Bublé.
I grabbed Harry Connick Jr., so he's in lockdown, so I think we're good on that.
All right. I'll save One Direction.
We already have Green Day.
That's not even the same kind of music.
We already have Green Day. No
Gotcha.
One Direction.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Well, how about Katy Perry?
Zoe Deschanel.
But she's not really known as a great singer.
Katy Perry sings.
All right, listen, screw the music. All right, let me be clear about this.
enough.
When it comes to movies, we save them all.
Save them all!
We save all the movies.
Wonderful. Good
Except for the ones we
decision.
talked about today.
Maybe not Vampire Academy.
Or what was the other vampire movie you
Nut
saw?
Job?
Nut Job, Ballbreaker.
Beautiful Creature.
Beautiful creatures.
Chicken balls.
We're not saving that. Everything else, though. Everything else.
How about the Magic Mailbox? What was the Notebook? No.
Magic Mailbox?
What was
The
Magic-
Lake House?
Sea by the Lake?
Yeah,
Oh,
Magic
Lake
Mailbox.
House. That's the one.
Lake House.
That's
gets
the one.
brought up in the saving the movies of our time.
No, I said I was not
conversation?
going to save the
Oh,
Magic
okay,
Mailbox.
right.
Is Lake House the one where the Jennifer Connelly's trying to move into it, but she's really intimidated by
You mentioned the movie previously. I forgot what it was. Now I remember.
Lakeview
House
Terrace?
of Sand and Fog.
Oh. It's not Lakeview Terrace?
No, that's Sam Jackson, right?
Oh, intimidating someone else. Okay, I got it.
Which is what he does.
Lakeview Terrace. Yeah, that's when the lights go out, right?
That's the night the lights went out
That's
in Georgia.
Pacific Heights.
Okay.
None of these movies are getting saved. By the way. Maybe I lied completely about we're saving them all just because we're
Nothing
movie
worth
guys.
saving since we declared we're saving them all.
I'm going to save Raiders of the Lost Ark
Definitely.
and that one where Jane March gets naked, The Lover.
Jane March.
Not the Bruce Willis Jane March one.
No, not
Fuck
Color
that
of
one.
Night. No,
Not
that's
Color
bullshit.
of Night.
That's bullshit.
The Bruce Willis's penis, the movie.
I'm really up for a debate now. What else needs saving?
What doesn't or
Yeah.
does?
Batman Begins.
Well, I'm definitely
Batman
taking.
Begins.
I'm definitely taking A Few Good Men, and I'm definitely taking Ed
of
Wood.
course, right? And
Yep.
Jack
And-
Reacher.
and Jack Reacher.
I'm going to take Batman and Robin. That's when I'll have to sneak over the border, I think.
I may stop you. I may be at the border.
Doug, what would you take?
Geez Louise. I'll take
Never saw it.
Well, geez Louise, that's the one where the two girls go across country and then they jump off
Yeah,
the cliff.
they die at the end.
Never mind.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Spoiler alert.
yes. I'll take.
Oh,
I'll
sorry,
take
Ridley
the,
Scott directed it.
I'll take the Transporter films.
Ooh.
Oh, now you've
I'm in
reached
for
Adam's
that.
heart.
There we go.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we have to pick just a couple Luc Besson produced movies. I mean, the ones he directed, fine. He also produced those, so we could take The Professional. But you're right, Transporter.
I'll take.
I have to see the sequels yet. I only saw the first one.
They would make a great day. I want to do a day of all 3 Transporter movies. Where's my 4th Transporter movie?
Wouldn't that be great? We're watching the movies and we forget to save some of them. We say, you know what? They came and they stole Casablanca. Sorry, we were watching Transporter 3.
Paul had never seen 3.
You guys can't be in the escape patch the whole time. You're supposed to be out
Where
saving
did
shit.
Citizen Kane go, and why does it smell like Nazi?
All right, well, listen. We would be remiss if we didn't mention some big unfortunate movie news of the week, because we're not your source for movie news. We'll admit it. We're a comedy show.
Yeah.
But this week, we lost Philip Seymour Hoffman.
That was weird.
Or as Serena Williams called him, Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think.
Please, yes, say that happened.
She did.
Wonderful.
Philip Baker Seymour Hoffman Hall.
Because
wait, who said that?
Serena Williams.
I mean, she's got to be left off the hook for that. She's a tennis player.
A tennis player doesn't know one of the greatest actors of our generation?
But when you're on
what would
TV,
McEnroe say?
Maybe when you're on TV, you just refer to him as the guy who was Capote. And then you might get it right.
No, but
she
I
says
agree.
Capote.
like she's seen Capote.
I agree with Doug. Why the hell do I care what Serena Williams thinks about the passing of Philip Seymour
It's some
Hoffman?
clip that was floating out there in between Woody Allen posts on Facebook. And shit.
Facebook's going to get to the bottom of that shit.
But we would like to remember the brilliance of Philip Seymour Hoffman in another round of That's Right.
That's right. And that'd crack up the audience.
What's that from? Is that TJ?
That's
Fred Willard,
It was a Mighty Wind. Yeah, Fred Willard.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, so how do we play That's Right? Well, I can remind you guys that Philip Seymour Hoffman was, in fact, in The Big Lebowski.
That's right.
That's right.
And remember,
We're frantically trying to reach you, dude.
right. He was in Boogie Nights, of course.
That's
Oh,
right.
that's right. Yes.
That's right.
But if you think back, do you remember that he was in Leap of Faith?
He was.
That's
He
right.
was like behind the scenes guy with Deborah Winger while Steve Martin was prancing around on the stage.
Yeah, it was.
Scent of a Woman. I think you remember from that.
He was in that. That's right. That's right.
He was also in. This is how this is played. Talented Mr. Ripley. I forgot he was in that.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
He was
That's
in
right.
that.
That's
I
right.
forgot. That's
Punch
right.
Drunk Love.
That's right.
A great
That's
movie.
right.
So he's basically wildly forgettable.
He blends into the
right.
scenery.
That's right.
Cold Mountain. He was the Reverend. I forgot that. That was
In
like a
Cold-
Dickens character. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
Oh my God, he's so great. Red Dragon. I don't remember him in Red Dragon.
That's
No.
right.
That's right.
God, that cast gets better. That's a great cast. That's
Almost-
already Ray Fiennes and
Edward Norton.
Hulk too. Yeah.
Almost Famous.
Oh, that's right.
that's
That's
right.
right. That's right. He was in
right.
that.
Charlie Wilson's
Very
War.
good.
That is
That's
right.
right. Is
That
right.
And
is
if you want
right.
to do yourself a favor and see a movie that you haven't seen, see that one because you haven't seen it.
I have not seen it.
Don't tell me you have. Mike Nichols, Aaron Sorkin script, Tom Hanks, Julie Roberts, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It's a great film.
See you at
Wow.
John Slattery, great film. You need to see that. And he was also in Doubt.
That's right.
That's right.
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 Big Oscar nominated. Oh my God, Moneyball. That's
That's
right.
Well, yeah, that's
nominated
right.
He
for
was
that,
so
right?
That's
pissed.
right.
No, he wasn't.
That's
It wasn't.
No.
But that's right. He was in
he?
that.
No, I don't think so. But he was in that. He was in that. And of course, Jack Goes Boating.
That's right.
Again, I don't know.
Twister?
Not another one either.
Twister.
He did a bunch of indie stuff. In fact,
Twister.
Was he in Twister?
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
He
was.
fucking hit the Van Halen right before they went driving.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
He's
time
fucking in that shit.
That's right. Oh, I love
Don't tell
that
me
game.
he's not. That's not. That's right.
He was awesome. There was nobody more authentic. Well, that's not true. There are plenty of good actors out there, but he was so authentic.
Mission Impossible 3.
Oh,
That's right.
That
Almost
shit
forgot about
rocked.
that.
That was my jam. Mission Impossible 3 is my jam. That's right. I mean, and how awesome. That's a mainstream fucking movie, and he is a badass villain in that. And Kevin Smith made a great point. That character is what the Penguin should be in a Christopher Nolan Penguin. He said Philip Seymour Hoffman as the Penguin in a Christopher Nolan style Batman,
Jesus.
where he's just that fucking scheming guy from Mission
Yeah.
Impossible 3. He's like, that's the ideal Penguin right there.
That is a good
It's an interesting thought. Yeah.
Did you hear Roger Ebert said that Philip Seymour Hoffman should play him before he passed away? It's something he said.
Philip Seymour Hoffman should play. Oh,
Should play Ebert.
Ebert.
Oh.
Oh wow.
In the next Batman?
No. That's right. That's not right at all.
You mean Mayor Ebert from Godzilla 99? I'm giving this a thumbs down.
Oh my God.
Wasn't that the worst joke ever in the history of movies?
Yes,
Right?
it is.
Sorry for anybody who remembers Roland Emmerich.
So anyway, one of the
Horrible movie.
one of
Oh, I
the
thought that was
most-
your joke.
Doesn't matter the size of the role.
It's really in it.
He was great. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Without him, this will suck.
One thing I gotta say, yeah, it really. I feel bad because I haven't been keeping up with him like this.
I missed the last Hunger Games, but now, I mean, as soon as I knew he was involved, I'm like, that's worth seeing.
Sure.
I can't believe I haven't yet.
But, you know, it's like you never assume you're one of these actors you do appreciate, but you're not like obsessing over is you're just going to all of a sudden that's going to be the end of him. That's going to be it. You know, so yeah, I really kind of want to get on a kick now and watch all the ones I haven't seen where he's really good and just really appreciate.
Yeah, and that's right on the heels of Gandolfini, which was the same way. Like you still wanted to see more from him.
But died of a heroin overdose. Now, I got to say, this is not cool to say. I know, just say no and everything, but heroin overdose, that is the cool way to go. That is John Belushi. It's ugly, but it's Lenny Bruce. It's jazz greats. It's
only if you're wearing a suit when they find you. But everyone who dies of
naked
heroin
on the floor, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everyone who dies of heroin's always in their underwear.
Naked. They got the needle sticking out of them.
What is it about that drug that makes you take all your clothes off before you die?
No one's got really cool wingtips and a hat on with a needle in their arm.
I'm just saying,
it's the don't come back from it drug. You start down that road.
Yeah,
you're done. You know,
but also something to be said about the legalization of things like that, because then there's no such thing as, well, I mean, there is overdosing, but it's like much more, like nobody knows how much heroin they're doing, like how much you can take, how much a dose is, how many milligrams they're taking of heroin.
But the question I have for you,
I mean, at least
Adam,
if you take an aspirin, you're not like, oh my God, I took all the aspirin. I didn't realize it was one thing. Right?
But the question I have for you is...
you shouldn't take heroin.
I will... No. I would like to have an alcohol. Well, here it is. It's Everclear. I was hoping for a beer. Right? I mean, that's like heroin. It's the Wild Wild West. Like, who knows what the hell you're getting?
But what movie do I watch while doing heroin?
That would have been my question.
Oh, Trainspotting.
All right. Well, enough of this shenanigans.
Most of Trainspotting.
There's more shenanigans to get to, including our guest, Doug Karo.
Yes.
Hey, Doug.
Let's talk
We keep
to
going
Doug.
on and on here. We got a guest in the room.
Doug, I want to talk to you about something that we ask all of our guests on the
Okay.
show. What is your favorite movie of all time?
It really is a toss-up for me. It's a tie between, I've got Citizen Kane, which I truly love.
It's like 2 in a row, right, for that?
And Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you really love Citizen Kane. Now, some people are sort of forced into loving that in film school. That's the film they show you, but you can't really get your appreciation of it in that sort of. So, how did you come to love Citizen Kane? What really? When did it jump out to you?
Film school.
Was it film school, right? But you actually really took to it the first time.
Yeah, I just I became enamored with the film, and the more I believe I took a entire class on it. So I really dove
One
deep
class
into it.
for Citizen
It was.
Kane?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well, it could be, I guess.
It was one
of
class,
all the
and then it
movies.
was all the films that were influenced by it.
Yeah.
And but when I really got into like the history of the film and like the behind the scenes became just as enamoring as what was happening.
Yeah, you ever seen that RKO, whatever the movie about the behind the scenes, the Battle for Kane?
Yeah, not
Actually,
bad.
there's 2 documentaries, I think. Yeah,
The Liev Schreiber one?
there's that one, and then there's the one called Battle for Kane, I think, which is an actual documentary about how he's parodying a very popular figure at the time, the newspaper magnate.
William Randolph Hearst?
Yeah, Hearst, who was the Fox, whatever his name is, of the Rupert Murdoch of the time, right? And it was coming right out and saying Rupert Murdoch's a total jerk off, really, is what the whole movie was saying. And, And Hearst buried him, right? And tried to bury it. I mean, buried the movie, basically.
I mean, the whole Xanadu is that real place over in
Simeon.
San Simeon. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's just kind of like the layers of, you know. And I mean, I got into it like when I was in my 20s, and it would really mess with my head to be like, oh yeah, Orson Welles did that, and I'm, taking the bus to film school.
Uh-huh.
But no. I thought it was inspiring. I mean, you hear the whole stories about digging up the floor and like go lower. It was, and it carries, like the machine of the movie to me carries the edits, the camera moves.
And really, the inspiration about Citizen Kane is because he's what 23 when he makes that movie, I think.
Around
Orson Welles.
ballpark, yeah.
Wow.
Right, and
I've done nothing with my life.
Of
Thank
course.
you for bringing it to light, Adam.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's haunted me since I was 23. As soon as I was 24, I was like, fuck. But I mean, it's unfortunate that is out there as an example. But the thing is, he didn't know how to make a movie, and so that is a movie from someone who didn't know that you couldn't do any of this.
Right.
You can't tell a story backwards. You can't tell a story sideways. You can't do a dolly through a sign. You can't. do this. You can't do this deep focus photography. You can't have an angle that low. You can't put the light like. I mean, really, every rule that existed was broken because he didn't know you couldn't just do it this way.
And I mean, you hear about like, Hollywood hates Brett Ratner or something, but like they hated him to the extent where they took the ending of Magnificent Ambersons, burned the print, and reshot there's no evidence of the original.
Wow.
It's gone.
That's amazing.
So it's intense. And I love the fact that he kind of had that, he had that low end swing and ended with, Touch of Evil, which was
that's one of my favorite Orson
and,
Welles songs, yeah.
And there's the charm of, I'm sure you guys have all gone on YouTube and seen his wine outtakes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it's the yin and yang of him.
But
and he was his last work was Transformers animated. He was the planet. He was Omnicron. So
He
how can
played
you,
as big as a planet.
A planet.
how can you argue that?
I gotta say, you want to feel worse about the 23-year-old directing Citizen Kane? That was on the downstroke of his career. He'd already formed RKO Radio.
Yeah, and-
He'd already done War of the Worlds.
Done the actors group or whatever it is. He put
He'd
together.
already
What
formed
was that group.
What was the acting company?
Yeah, he put them together.
But that's the Othello and all the Hamlet and all that stuff that they mounted there. I mean, he's mounting that shit as like a 15-year-old and shit. I think.
And not to pile
pretty
on and make us
insane.
feel any worse, but just to let you know that at 19, Byron Allen was on Real People.
That's the Byron Allen report.
And it's funny though, because you mentioned 23 being your barometer. I remember thinking, like, when I got old enough and I was in Hollywood trying to do anything, I was like 27, and I learned that Byron Allen was on Real People at 19, and I thought, oh, screw me.
Yeah, every time I see like those 12
Not that you want his career.
6-year-old kids with the yo-yos and Cirque du Soleil doing amazing shit, I'm like, I've done nothing. Or hear about John Milton, who wrote Ode to a Grecian Urn when he was like 21, then he died, and I've done nothing.
Well, I've told you this story. I
it
ran
John
into
Milton?
Yeah, but you're not that into that
whatever.
poem, right? Would you want to be the guy that wrote that poem? Would you want Byron Allen's career to be on a show that everyone's already forgotten and then have a late night show that nobody watches?
comedians with
that
Byron
man makes nothing but money.
Byron?
That man,
Because he's got no budget for his show,
Oh
right?
yeah, well, he shoots an
camcorder to a lobby.
evergreen panel show. You see people like there's Jimmy Pardo, like 80 pounds of a different weight, and like what is this?
When
like,
did he interview him?
It was like 5 years ago. And I was like, hey, I saw you in the Byron. He's like, leave it alone. It's a disaster. Leave it alone. But it's no. He does these. His business model. This is hilarious, by the way. Sorry, quick. It's
please.
not hilarious. Anyway, his business model is he makes shows out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
He'll get a camera crew.
Well, that's never been successful.
And he goes to
a show about nothing.
He just goes to celebrities' houses. Hey, can we film your house? That's a show. He pays almost nothing for the camera crew. He made. You guys are probably familiar with this. EPK. Go to these little press junkets. He just strung them all together as a show. Syndicated tons of money.
Yeah.
And
Can I answer your question again, Adam?
Yeah.
Yes, I want Byron
Okay.
Allen's-
All right. There it is.
Yeah, the house is poetry.
That's
well, let's
So
go back.
somewhere between Byron Allen and Orson Welles, we've
the meaning of life.
discovered the
Right.
meaning of life. Okay, Blues Brothers, number
Yes.
2.
Yeah, well, I grew up in Chicago, and WGN would play it almost nightly, and it just became, you didn't have it on VCR, or you just when it was on, it was on. So you just like, oh my God, it's here, and just whatever was doing. You had a homework paper due the next day. Nope, Blues Brothers is on.
And that was an acceptable excuse when you got to school and it wasn't done.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, Blues Brothers was on. Yeah.
Chicago school system, they accept that, right?
Yeah.
Mrs. Stradley said,
Just-
"Oh, I understand. I was watching it too."
Yeah, just write Illinois Nazis suck, and they're like, got it.
It just shows you how back then, I don't want to dig on the later versions of Saturday Night Live, but back then, I mean, they had the audacity to think with a massive scope to take one of their funny little routines to the big screen. It's a huge movie with just a giant story with tons of travel and locations and people and massive car pileups and everything. And, and you look at something like Night at the Roxbury, and it's a shame that didn't expand to something that big.
Yeah, that's an interesting analysis because those are 2 sketches with nothing that's in the movie, right? The Night of Roxbury is people bobbing their heads.
Yeah,
and
Blues
that's
Brothers
it.
singing blues.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see them on
There
SNL.
was no.
They're not doing sketches
outside of it. Yeah,
Well, it was so few comedies aspire to be a film. I feel that one does, or at the very least, it takes advantage of the art form of film to to entertain. If you
Well,
will.
yeah, as Stephen Lewis would say, that movie enjoys being a movie.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's a good way to describe certain things. Enjoys being a movie.
Do you remember it shooting there? Or were you too young?
Oh, no,
I
no.
think I was 10. Whatever.
Yeah.
Probably younger than that when it shot.
No, and as I grew up, I enjoyed it on different levels. I think as a young person, I just kind of liked the music, and then eventually.
Oh my God, what a great band! I mean, it's crazy
across the board, and like introduced me to Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, that probably
Sam and
introduced me
Dave,
to all those people. Yeah.
And then it's just it's fucking weird. It's weird, and I love that it never explains itself, like a heavy-handed premise, It's not like, all right, our regular teacher's out today, but here's the crazy... It's like, no, it's just like, this is a normal reality. These guys are orphans, and they play the blues, and they, 4 fried chickens and a Coke. We're not going to explain it.
Yeah. We're going to drive through a mall just for no reason.
Oh, my God.
And we could do anything else. It adds nothing to the movie. It's just part of the chase. But yes, they destroy an entire mall and 500 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
And you can't get that from them singing the blues on Saturday Night Live. Like, oh, what do we make as a movie? Oh, I got
exactly. That's the big scope.
You know what I see when I hear that music?
it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? A big car pile up. And John Candy in that movie.
That's been in my top 10 my whole life.
I wish you were still around. John Candy.
But now, let's start, speaking of Byron Allen and late night, that's where you currently find your means, your life, your everything.
Yes, I work at Conan.
Sweet.
Now, what do you do for Conan?
I write and produce videos for the monologue.
Okay.
Video mashups and things like that of such
fun.
nature.
Are you a When We Melded guy?
No, I'm not. That is
When They Meld.
another fella who kind of takes those. But what I do is, let's see. I did a video that was went viral of all these newscasters saying.
Oh, the same thing?
Is that your work?
God bless
That's
you.
me.
That is some research.
That is.
Now,
I
how
want
do
to
you do
shake
that
your
kind
hand.
of
up.
research?
That is freaking brilliant.
Because I always wonder on Daily Show and stuff like that, when they pull together such a... Now, how many clips go into that for yours?
It's just a matter of like looking in to find as many people finding the same thing and just kind of find the right story. Yeah.
Do you have a media resource center where you can search by key term, or do you just go YouTube it and find all?
No. We have we kind of have a way of just digging.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a matter of you kind of like you sniff out it sounds like kind of like a syndicated package. Like that doesn't sound like a normal person would say that. Then you kind of like try to find other people that are reporting on the same story.
Okay. And what's the repetition? I haven't seen the clip. I'm sorry. What's the?
you don't know this?
No. What do they repeat?
The one that went big was a bunch of newscasters doing Mike Myers impressions.
Oh, that's awesome.
Saying yeah, baby.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Now, is that because it comes off the AP Wire?
For
that
each
story?
it's a little different, but I mean, so much of what the local news is not local.
Exactly.
They have all sorts of different like prepackaged things that they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't remember the one I just recently saw, but it was you could just tell it was a story that was sent out on a stringer.
And
or
it's
a wire,
that line they say before they kick to a package or come back from it, right? It's that chummy thing that's written.
I think Mike Myers had a baby.
The best ones are
So
when they write it off as like we're just having casual banter here. Like,
but they all say the same thing.
Yeah, but it's a fun job because I kind of have a little freedom to experiment and stuff. I did one of my Stranger pieces was Guy Fieri eating in reverse. It was a montage of him pulling food out of his mouth.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's so smart.
I recently did one that was called People's Court Entrances.
Oh, I saw that one.
Oh, that's great. I gotta see this.
I'm just obsessed with the announcer on People's Court.
Yes.
Because he's very low and angry. He's like
Doug Llewellyn.
No.
No.
Oh, the new one?
He's the reporter.
It's
the
not
voiceover guy.
It's not the voiceover guy is his own bag on that show.
This man
when people
thought this.
It's like with poison. He says like, "Here, Steve. Steve claims that his neighbor, poisoned his dog." Steve says, "No way!" It's just like, why do they talk like that? Why is the announcer like that?
Oh, you never been to an actual courthouse? That's how it is. No.
That's just as at work, buddy.
It's like some kind of angry Bob Dylan.
Now, from what I remember, when we met, you were at Improv Olympic.
Yes.
I was at Improv Olympic, IO West here in Los Angeles.
Yay!
In Hollywood. Tons of great stuff there where you can see many of our guests we have on the show.
Absolutely.
Because, we pull from the best pools.
We love the improv.
You were doing a show called Late Night Explosion.
Yes.
And now you've translated that into jobs in late night television.
It was, I grew up well, maybe not grew up is the right word. I grew up loving, Saturday Night Live and SCTV.
Yeah.
And then when Conan came on, I'm like, oh, that show loves the things that I love.
Yeah.
And I just started doing my own version of that every week at I.O.
Oh, sweet.
And then eventually was able to swing that experience into actually, I always wanted to work at Conan, but I didn't have it in. And when they came to Los Angeles, I had been working with comedy and video for a while. I'm like, I bet they're going to add video to their monologue. So I kind of jumped on, and it was, it felt like, I had been with the show all along because I'd been following it, So,
Yeah.
He's the closest to young Letterman, right? Conan, you think?
I feel like everybody's kind of got their own bag.
As a big young Letterman fan, I would say it is. It's the closest we've got so far. That sort of, it's that atmosphere that someone has accidentally left the keys to the studio in the door, and someone came in and turned on all the lights and started a late night show, and nobody's monitoring it. That's how I think early Letterman is, and I used to get that feeling with Conan too, like masturbating bear,
Just
like
outside the
nobody's
box.
watching this except the right people.
Well, where Letterman would do a show from his office or something like that, and then
Larry
Conan does a
Bud
whole show that's claymation. It's like that sort of outside the box thinking. I think that positive comparison. I think that was
actually,
too many people followed. I think too many people are just following points of monologue to promoting a movie to musical guests to, and he goes off course a lot more, and I like that.
Yeah.
Probably my proudest accomplishment on that show was I produced an episode called Occupy Conan, where it was an actual crowdsourced episode. So we took the episode, cut it up into like 150 or so bites. And fans,
like the Star Wars?
Exactly like Star Wars.
God.
That's cool.
And it was very much a risk to, would the network take that? Because there's no backing out. There's no announcing and going, we didn't get enough submissions. Sorry.
Wow. Did you shoot an episode first and then allow people to watch that and put their own, or did you just give a script out, or what?
It was a shot episode.
Okay.
And we put it up in bites and told people to recreate it and send them in, and we just picked bites that we liked.
And you put the whole thing together?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Wait, where can I find that episode?
It's
Is it out there?
Occupy Conan. Most of it's online. We had to take down the fun song due to rights issues.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The episode's still up there.
Oh, wow.
My favorite Conan episode ever, no offense, Doug, is back when he was in New York and he did the whole show with kids in the audience.
Yeah, you keep
I've
talking
only
about that.
heard of this.
Oh my God,
it's great.
You're not the first person to talk
He brings
about
this
it.
up a lot. I'd like to see
I've
that.
never
too.
seen it
Is brilliant because he does a straight show, makes no adjustments except for the fact that when he can tell it's completely dying and nothing's going on. And by the way, he had guests on who had to suffer through this as well.
Because kids have a whole different sense of humor.
Yes.
You can't just play it like normal.
He had the laugh monster. And the laugh monster would come out, and you'd have to laugh really hard to make him go away. And so he'd peek around the curtain, and he'd creep across the stage, and he'd lurch towards Conan. They have to laugh really loud, then he goes away. And then the show goes on.
God, that's
I have to find
brilliant.
that. I've become kind of, as you guys do comedy so much, you kind of become jaded, and it's like what really makes me laugh is train wrecks. Like when everything will go
Welcome
wrong.
to the show, Doug.
Runs off the rails.
When everything bombs at rehearsal and like everything's it's most bleak. How could it get worse? That's when I find my, I at least laugh to myself.
I would be remiss if I didn't. I would actually be a disappointment to myself if I didn't take this opportunity. And say to you, I think Andy Richter is one of the, if not the best side guy. I don't know what we call him.
Sure.
What is your impression of him and your experience with him? Because he says things that he has never missed with what he adds to the show.
He's very selective, and then he nails it.
And it's always a nail.
Yeah.
It's always an absolute home run.
He's literally a magical human being. When I came to do the Tonight Show, I was nervous as all hell. It's like there's a lot of pressure. They're launching a whole franchise,
Yeah.
and he not only would come up and just bullshit with me, which I'm like, really? All right. He would remember things. Like I'd be walking down the stairs and he'd be like, "Hey, Doug, you teaching at I.O. tonight?" Like, how do you know that? You should. I want to explain to him that he should not be, for his level of success in life, not be as nice as he is.
Yeah.
He is ridiculously nice.
Thank you for
great.
that, Doug. I was hoping you'd say all those wonderful things.
Yeah, you hate
about
to
him.
find out someone's a dick, right?
I literally can't tell you one person I think is a nicer, better person in Hollywood than him.
Grindstack.
Well, Brian
Close
Stack
competition, right?
Brian Stack is.
For those who don't know, Brian Stack, a writer
Also a
on Conan,
writer on
does
Conan.
a ton of characters on there.
And you can go 10 years in between seeing him and don't remember your name. Hi, Adam.
Brian
What?
Stack is
How
human.
do you know that?
He's human kindness.
He is,
he's
isn't
just.
he? We got to
I
get him
mean,
on the show.
Yeah, he's he'd do it too. And it's just like he plays these crazy bold characters. Like his go-tos are like God. You know?
Yeah.
But when you like he's like, "Oh, Conan," you know, like strong characters, and then you're like, "Hey Brian, how's it going?" He's like, "Oh, hi, nice to see you." Like, what?
Yeah, the salesman.
He
bit.
saves it. He's saving it all day. He's waiting to get on cameras that, craw fishermen and start screaming.
Coiled spring.
Yeah.
Coiled spring. That's awesome. That's great.
And then you translated that into, now I see why you were a good fit for Dion Cole's Black Box.
Yeah, what's this?
Which was a show from last summer.
It was, we, one of the co-writers, Deanna and I, were kind of tinkering around, and we're like, hey, let's, there's so many clip shows on, and it's a genre I'm very comfortable in. I'm like, there's no black clip shows. Like, let's do one of those. So we put it together. And 2.5 years later, there's about 8 of them on the air, and we got ours on the air, and it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. It was Dion is completely approaches everything differently, and it was a lot of adapting to different philosophies, which was fantastic because it kept us I think it was a very original show. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Is he going back with Conan? Or?
He comes back kind of as a guest contributor. Robert Smigel did the same thing. He did his Triumph after he left. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I just saw, I was walking through a neighborhood and someone had in their window, and it was so striking and shocking that I almost went up to the door and said, I will give you $20 for it. It was a circumference, I don't know what circumference I'm saying right here, a gigantic Bill Clinton head, and it was the exact one they used to put the mouth for Smigel.
Oh, wow.
It was that exact Clinton head, and it was gigantic in somebody's window, and I wanted to walk up and go, how much for that? Like, I want that gigantic Conan O'Brien, Robert Smigel, Bill Clinton head on my wall. It was
$20
awesome.
would not have gotten you that, I promise you. Yeah.
They would have gotten me up to 100, 150, 200 maybe.
It was a brilliant way to kind of bring on sketchy interviews. It was really just an amazing technique. We did it once on TBS as like a throwback, but I thought I wish we did it more. I love that bit.
I love the complete lack of reverence too for trying to do Clinton. Just he's just a hillbilly.
Exactly.
Who gives a damn? Ted Turner same way when he comes out. He's just fucking crazy.
And that's that SCTV mentality. They take the one extreme thing that the actor does. Like I remember, what's his face doing Charlton Heston.
Phil Hartman?
No. From SCTV. I can't think of his name.
Dave Thomas? Joe Flaherty. I'll name
Joe
one
Flaherty.
eventually.
Joe Flaherty.
Okay.
Joe Flaherty. Joe Flaherty used to do Charlton Heston, and I don't ever remember Charlton Heston going, damn, and he would grab his neck and damn this table, damn your legs, damn you, and it was just like, that's your Heston. It's so funny. That's so SCTV to just grab that. Yeehaw, Conan.
Yeah, it's either you do it perfectly or do something completely different, but like, it's the middle ground is where you get killed.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you here, and I want to talk about not just your favorite films of all time, but also what did you see this week? We have theme songs.
we have theme songs. If you haven't noticed already,
that was, of course, what did you see this week? So I put that to the table.
What did I see?
Well, the three of us saw Anchorman 2.
Oh yeah,
we all saw Anchorman 2.
Yeah, late comers to that theater, but we finally saw it. Yeah.
How was it?
It's fantastic.
You got $13 you don't need? It's a great way to spend it.
Dude,
absolutely.
It is fantastic. I mean, the first one can do no wrong. And I really love how that movie does not give a shit about, and I saw something else this week where the movie did give a shit about like making sure, I saw like Burt Wonderstone on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
It's just kind of on and stuff like that. But I'm like, there is that the two are a perfect contrast because Burt Wonderstone gives a shit about how much growth these dumb magicians go through, and I don't care. I don't care. Be funny, even if it doesn't make sense. And Anchorman 2 will all of a sudden say, I'm blind, and now the plot's going off in that direction. Now he's going to be blind for 10 minutes until they resolve that, or don't, or just decide to stop doing it because the bit has run itself out. I mean, it's such a freewheeling comedy in that way that it just doesn't care for your rules. It's very punk.
I told you this after the screening. I agree with that because when I studied at Toronto Second City, it was all about just being funny. Hey, what's funny here? How can we find the game? All the things you learn in most improv, but it's just to be funny character, funny situation. And in Chicago Second City, not to their detriment, but it was different that they would teach you about social and political satire and finding these big themes and all that stuff. And it's kind of like, can I just be funny? That I wanted that to be enough. And Anchorman has swept the nation just being funny. Whenever they have a chance to be funny, it's just funny. We'll say weird shit, we'll do weird things, crazy shit will happen out of nowhere just to be funny. And I admire that. So there you go.
But they are masterful in finding the game. That is where Adam McKay comes from in directing it.
Yeah, in fact, when they make statements about the state of news, I kind of want them to be over so they get back to just doing goofy, stupid shit, which they do tons of, and it's worth the money.
I mean, for me, there's always been kind of an ongoing conversation of the relationship of comedy versus story. And I guess it kind of depends on the tone you pick, but more times than not, story will get in the way of comedy. And I think the super old example is the Marx Brothers. When they brought in the straight brother with the love interest, it's like no, we just want the three stupid brothers.
Yep. Exactly.
Come back to the mayhem, please.
Danny Noonan and that Scottish chick. She's pregnant. I don't give a shit. Just have her be pregnant or not or whatever. Move on.
Yeah, that was such a pointless, wasted.
Isn't that weird? Because it wanted to be a teen movie,
and she didn't even get naked.
Reason.
Like if they introduced like some nudity and there was like some sexy
just
scene.
Got her so she's there for appeal.
Yeah. Well, isn't there like a 20-hour cut of that movie where it's just like all of like the teen romance storylines and drama?
No,
see, that's why I said Caddyshack in the argument we may have had here before about the greatest comedy of all time. I'll take Ghostbusters and Blazing Saddles over that any second.
Ghostbusters, unlike Blazing Saddles,
because they don't have caddies. I mean, seriously, if we stopped following Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Dan Aykroyd for 2 seconds and followed some subplot, in Ghostbusters, I wouldn't have it. Instead, it's all about them all the time, and they're constantly being funny. So for me, that wins.
But also the thing about Ghostbusters, and I would ask anybody in our audience to put on your 3-act structure mitts and your sketch writing hats and watch every single scene of Ghostbusters is absolutely perfect and efficient in delivering a premise for that scene that's going to be the sketch, doing all the things you need to expand the sketch and from the various points of view, and then close it as quickly as possible. The Dana apartment thing is a perfect example. When he goes to her apartment, he is not there to do science. He does not believe in Ghostbusters at all. He's there to get laid. And everything she says is towards the end of, I need a scientist, and that's the only reason I'm accepting you in my apartment right now. And everything he's doing is trying to impress her with being a Ghostbuster to try and get in her pants. That is gold, man. There's so much gold in that Ghostbusters.
And that's the story behind that is like Dan Aykroyd had like a 200-page screenplay.
Exactly. And it was all Dan Aykroyd speak.
Was it kind of like you feel like in the 70s and 80s, like these filmmakers that were kind of like putting some of these sketch people on tracks, or what was it?
I think that's Dan Aykroyd being wrangled by Harold Ramis and the Ivan Reitman, because that's who could wrangle him quite well. I think you see him go off on his own without those elements to wrangle him, and you get what's the one with Demi Moore and Chevy Chase and
Nothing But Trouble.
That is the worst film ever made.
It might be the worst film ever made.
I never saw it.
Original title Vulcanvania.
I was like a teenager when I saw it, and I was just furious.
Yes. And I took a girl to that movie because I was like, it's Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. It's going to be hilarious. And I just had no idea how flawed those talents were. At their heyday, they were not flawed at all. But by that time,
by the time you get into My Stepmother's an Alien, and Cops and Robersons, you know more what's going on there, which is a shame. What else did we see?
Did you see anything, Doug?
I caught up on some of the Oscar-ish movies.
Ooh, lay it on me.
I saw the Llewyn Davis.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
I liked it, and my wife hated it, and I couldn't defend it. I was just like, I got it. Yeah. I liked it, and all of your hatred for it is valid. I didn't know what to say.
That's a good way to describe that movie, actually. Yeah, I love it, but I can't defend it.
Like, nothing happened. Nothing came from it. Like it was like, what happened? And I was just like, nothing. I liked it.
I hear that about it.
It was the Coen brothers do a Lost Kitten film, something like a French Lost Kitten film with music.
I liked back in the day. I liked Slacker. I like those kind of.
Sure.
Let's sit and just explore a moment.
Slacker's got a whole lot of personality. Inside Llewyn Davis doesn't feel like it has any personality. any personality. It feels like it's a dull date. But I've heard
He's
it's brilliant
right,
the second
and
time.
but you liked it.
I think you know what? I think my parents met during the kind of folk scene, and I found it fascinating. I found the tone and kind of era interesting.
That's definitely what I was there for. I love the idea of that era when like punk is about to break, except it's not punk. It's you know, whatever's about to break. You know, something in the air. There's electricity in the air, and it'd be such a dream. It's like one of those eras. Like if you could go to a certain place where a certain thing is happening. I mean, the folk era of Greenwich Village. Before it was too expensive to buy a slice of pizza in Greenwich Village? Oh, man. Yeah, that's, that'd be fun. Didn't really put me there, but anyway. I mean, it put me there, but not.
I caught up on my Oscar a little bit. I did.
On TBS? What was on TBS?
What was on there was no TBS. There was no TBS movie review. I usually just watch whatever's on TBS over and over and over again. But this weekend I actually got out of the house and saw August Osage County.
Oh, how is it?
Which it is very good.
It's got a colon in the title, so it's the second? Or it's the... Okay, anyway, go ahead.
I highly recommend you go into that movie in the best mood you can possibly be in. Because when you come out...
So Vicodin.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. You need to Vicodin with a gin chaser because you're going to come out feeling, not great about
That's
much.
why I put off Breaking Bad for so long.
Is that a bad feeling show?
No, that's incorrect. That's how my roommate felt about that. That's why he wouldn't watch Breaking Bad. Is he's like, looks all menacing with this shaved head, face staring at me in barrels of whatever. And I'm like, that is the sixth season of Breaking Bad presenting itself as itself. Like the rest of it is like Coen Brothers. It's funny and you know.
Did you eventually give in?
I've just recently. I'm a few episodes in.
But you can tell from the very beginning. I mean, he's standing in the road in his underwear. This is an uncommon type of TV show, and it's there to be laughed at too. Because it's just a goofy image.
Yeah,
so,
it was just a matter of like I've only got so much spare time.
Yeah,
and I don't know if I want to spend it with a meth dealer.
But it's
until you got to watch it and kind of like it's not Degrassi Junior High.
No.
Where'd you see?
Hey, Wheels. There's a reference, right? Remember Wheels from Degrassi?
No.
Wheels was one of the characters that wore the hat. Wheels.
We referenced it.
Come
We
on.
haven't seen it.
Thank you. Wheels.
Where did you see August Osage County?
I saw it at my local theater, Triangle Square in Costa Mesa.
Triangle Square.
I did two great things.
The Big Little.
Right? I did two great things with this movie. One, I rode my bicycle to it. And two, I paid $5 for it.
Movie theater.
It is the greatest thing in the world. I absolutely love that I can ride my bike to a movie theater and pay $5 for current releases.
Yeah, just gotta get up early.
Yeah, I got. And these aren't even early. Anything before noon. Usually it's like before 11
That's
or 10.
early.
She's the first theater.
That's
That's early.
Yeah, I saw the other movie and this movie. What was the movie?
Captain
I saw?
Phillips?
No, the Leonardo and
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Well, is it consider? I'm going to ask a two-part question here. Is it considered a second-run theater? And secondly, does second-run theater still exist?
Oh,
I don't
yes.
think it's considered a second-run theater because it's in current release.
No,
right?
you just go early. They give you matinee prices. Matinee
Okay.
used to mean anything before 6. Now it usually means before noon.
Yes.
Valley Village 6 is a second run.
And you can still come to anything before 11 o'clock here in Burbank and get a $6 movie. But I can do it for $5.
Wait, so you live in the area? You go to Victory and the Freeway, the 170.
Yeah.
There's a cinema there. It's cheap, and then there's one in Pasadena, the Academy 6. So, folks out there in the LA area, there's
Valley
your
Village
$3. On like Sunday and Tuesday, it's like $1.50 and
Everything's
$1 hot
good
dogs.
at the Valley
It's
Village
crazy.
6, yeah.
I just grew up loving second-run theaters. I would go whatever it was, like just the most dramatic films that a 10-year-old should not be watching. William Hurt. Yeah, I'll watch it. Sure. Second run.
Now, there used to be a brief tangent into Cincinnati talk because Lee knows what I'm talking about. There was a mall that was unfortunately built in between two better malls. And this was a giganto mall with like a playground in the middle and stuff. And it was called the Forest Fair Mall.
Forest Fair Mall.
In Cincinnati. And that had the only second run theater that was in kind of in the area. So that drew a lot of people to the Forest Fair Mall. This, a couple months ago around Christmas, I went to go visit a friend and we were like, where should we meet, in between Dayton and Oxford, Ohio. And he said, let's meet at Forest Fair Mall. Forest Fair Mall, again, this gigantic mall has 4 shops open in all of it.
Is the facility is still open?
The whole thing is still open and 4 things are open. It is the most amazing dead mall you've ever seen. It is the strangest thing to walk around a completely dead mall, save for 4 shops and a Gold Star chili in the food court full of nothing else open.
I took human geography
Yeah.
at Miami University.
That's a good project for human geography.
Where Forest Fair was a case study of how not to build cities.
Yeah.
And so my professor,
They literally studied.
No lie, his name was Cy Young, Professor Cy Young.
Nice.
Used
Winner.
Forest Fair Mall as a case study. And so we all went out there one afternoon because nobody believed that this could be that empty.
Uh-huh.
It is as empty as Adam says. It is spooky. And it's weird that they keep it open.
Yeah.
There's somebody that has to open the front door
Back
to this
then,
thing.
it was that empty?
It was, well, not 4 stores. I think there was
It's never been at full capacity, but yeah, it's.
I mean, back then it was still.
What's it called again?
Forest Fair.
Let Forest Fair haunt your dreams as we wrap up a movie showcase.
And that's
That is
movie
our
show. Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before Pixar animates a bunch of malls.
Yeah.
Right?
That come to life and
you
have adventures.
Yeah, exactly. You have-
Buildings.
we're down to the last, and we've got Legos. Have bicycles come to life and been a
Patent
thing
pending.
yet?
Patent pending.
Patent pending.
So-
Hi, I'm Pat and Pending.
Hey, I saw August Osage County again a second time. A little Q&A with Julia Roberts afterwards. Still hot.
Look at you.
Yeah.
I would love to see her in person because I honestly don't find her like sexy attractive on screen. So I'd love to see what she looks like up close.
She looked great.
Check out those
Okay.
pins.
Yeah.
Check out those sticks.
Long hair.
Good sticks.
Nice black dress. Thin. Cute.
growing
Glasses.
on me.
Had the glasses.
Oh,
Yeah.
smart girl look.
Well, hey, together we are the Movie Guys. Individually we are
Lee
Adam
Kines.
Witt.
Follow us at Twitter at The Movie Guys, on Facebook at Facebook.com/The Movie Guys, as well as on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, Vine, Instagram, LinkedIn, all that shit. Thanks to Doug Karo.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Doug.
And my fault. Next
guess-
time, should I ever be back, we got to talk about Tron.
Tron. Absolutely. I'm wearing the Tron t-shirt right
Good
here.
Lord, I love Tron.
Super7.com.
Number 3 on your list, maybe?
It's
up there?
it's somewhere in there, and surprisingly the second one.
Oh, I love the second one. How great is the second one?
I give it the
It's so
score.
good.
That score is amazing.
Yeah.
How do you not nominate that score for an
That's a
Oscar?
whole bunch of nailing it for a sequel, I gotta say, this Tron sequel. But at the same time, they put out the both in Blu-ray, and I found, like, at a Blockbuster was closing down, I found the Blu-ray of the original Tron for like $5. That movie in Blu-ray is awesome because you're like, this is so far ahead of its time that, like, that in Blu-ray, you're like, Tron looks like it was made yesterday. It looks
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
got this tactility to it still.
Yeah.
All right, the $5 is.
Sorry, I will let that go. We're back.
What'd
back
you play?
To the late night. I played $5. I don't know. All right, so
I thought it was being played off by the $5 foot-long theme.
you mentioned a $5 DVD. We'll make up a
Sure.
So be sure to catch Karen's production of Me and My Girl at Glendale Center Theater in Glendale, California, opening Valentine's Day and running for about 7 weeks.
Do it.
But we'll have birthdays back. Karen's birthday's in a couple of weeks as she rejoins the show because she'll get her Wednesdays back. Thanks to the triumphant return of Jamie Clark Yelvington manning the soundboard.
Hey, thank you for laughing in the
Providing
background.
laughs and
too.
knowledge and all that fun stuff. And Steve Schultz for his contributions to the show every week. And remember, you can find everything we're up to at themovieguys.net. Thanks for listening.
Do it. Internet says so. Oh, watch the Johnny Carson documentary on Netflix. So good.